Mortal Kombat! Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all well. In this video we are going to be reviewing the long-awaited Mortal Kombat reboot. Now if you cast your mind back to the first Mortal Kombat movie and its sequel Mortal Kombat Annihilation, then you'll remember that that movie was absolutely critically panned. All of the fans thought it was a bit of a joke and it didn't do that well in the box office. As a result, it was initially going to get a third movie sequel, and actually that movie has been in development hell for the last 20 years. Finally, long story short, there was a lot of back and forth happening from a contract point of view, and finally Warner Brothers were able to reboot the franchise, which means we've finally got the Mortal Kombat reboot. And actually, I thought it was pretty awesome. I know it's not perfect and it has got quite a few stiff performances, but on the whole, I actually thought it was alright. I mean, it has all of the legendary characters that you would expect a first Mortal Kombat entry movie to have. It's got brilliant dialogue and it's got fatalities aplenty. There are so many iconic fatalities from the game that have actually made their way into the live action movie debut, which I thought was absolutely brilliant. And there is also a refreshing new storyline and a nice new take on the Mortal Kombat world, which actually is quite a big deal because, you know, the Mortal Kombat series from a game point of view has tried to reinterpret itself quite a few times. There's the animated movie, like I said before, there's the live action movies as well, and there are some TV shows as well. So the fact that this Mortal Kombat movie was able to be a new take is actually pretty good, and I'm going to be breaking down all of the reasons why I thought it was pretty decent in this movie review. So from a storyline point of view, this film is actually set pre-tournament. The creators have actually talked about the vision of this franchise being a bit of a trilogy. So you have the pre-tournament film, which is what this film is. You'll have the main tournament happening in the sequel, and then the third movie will be post-tournament. So as far as this film is concerned, it's all about the pre-tournament world. So you see the characters of Outworld wanting to come onto Earthrealm and kill all of the key fighters and warriors that are inevitably going to be entering Mortal Kombat, so that they can guarantee their win when it comes to the actual tournament. Now the Outworld characters have won the last 9 tournaments, which means if they win this one, they get to take over Earthrealm, so really do want to guarantee their victory. The film is then introducing us to these characters, kind of setting up the world and expanding upon the world, and also pits rivalries with the different characters and sees which characters are going to come out on top and which ones are going to kill the other characters. Now from a positive point of view, the storyline is really great because, like I said before, they did something different with the storyline. So they take the Mortal Kombat iconic logo and they've placed it and they call it dragon markings on certain characters, and if you have a dragon marking, that means that you're able to enter Mortal Kombat the tournament, and if you kill someone who has the dragon marking, then you get that dragon marking. And it's really good in terms of setting everything up, and so ultimately is a really good origin storyline. That being said, from a negative point of view, it really focuses on the Cole Young character, and if you don't really like this character, then I think that is the reason why a lot of people don't like this movie, because he's a new character being introduced in this film and there is a lot of focus on his storyline and his family as well. And I also think, I guess another criticism is based upon the fact that it is a bit of an origin movie. You could argue that it's a lot more of a sequel setting up film rather than being a strong standalone entry movie. But you know, that being said, overall from a storyline perspective, I thought the Mortal Kombat reboot was actually pretty awesome. So from a cast and characters point of view, they actually haven't focused on acquiring big names for this title, as they wanted to focus the budget on all of the special effects. So they've chosen, you know, stunt doubles and wrestlers to play certain characters, and actually I think it works quite well. So let's go through them one by one. So first up we have Lewis Tan, who plays the Cole Young character. Like I said, he's a new character, so from that point of view it feels really fresh and new. But that being said, you are expected to care a lot about this character. You do find out in the third and final act of this movie why this character is so important and why this character is kind of front and center. But like I said before, if you don't really care about this character and you just want to focus on the other Mortal Kombat established characters, then it is going to be a little bit frustrating. Next up we have Jessica McNamee, who plays a Sonya Blade character. She's a little bit of a mentor figure to the Cole Young character. She's also the voice for the audience in terms of explaining this new world and how the dragon markings work, the Mortal Kombat tournament. And really interestingly, she actually doesn't have a dragon marking tattoo, so she already is on a little bit of a different level to the other characters, which I think from a character arc point of view is really, really interesting. Like with all of the other Mortal Kombat spaces, we have this character partnering up with the Jax character, and he has that absolutely brutal scene with the Sub-Zero character freezing off his arms, which was absolutely devastating for this character, and obviously was this movie's interpretation for how he then gets his robotic arms. Next up we have Josh Lawson, who brilliantly plays the Kano character. I feel like this actor honestly saved the movie with his brilliant wit, his hilarious line delivery, his brilliant attitude, and his humour is just so good. You just can't help yourself in terms of laughing at everything that the Kano character is saying. Next up we have Raiden, who actually I was a little bit disappointed by because his presence is just not that epic, and in the first two movies, the live action movies from the 90s, I feel like they got the Raiden character so much better to life in the other interpretations. Next up we have Joe Taslim, who brought the unstoppable Sub-Zero character to life. He did such a good job in terms of just reimagining this character. You really do feel like this character is so powerful, as he's able to instantly kill loads of different characters, and by contrast to the Raiden character, this character truly does have so much presence. When you begin to see the frost appearing on certain windows, you just know that this character is just going to mean business, and you just know that something big is about to go down because this character honestly just has so much stage presence. It's absolutely brilliant. Next up we have Hiroyuki Sanada, who plays Hanzo Hasashi / Scorpion, the legendary Scorpion character. In the beginning, quite honestly, you don't know what to expect from this character, but by the end of this movie, he is bringing his awesome self to the big screen, which is absolutely legendary. Next up we have Ludi Lin, who is playing the Black Ranger in the Power Rangers reboot, and here he is playing Liu Kang in the Mortal Kombat reboot, and he does a really good job in terms of playing the noble, very serious, very studious Liu Kang character. He has all of the Liu Kang classic moves from the video game reimagined in this film, which looks absolutely extraordinary. We also have his partner in crime, Kung Lao, and his hat is absolutely brilliant as well, and he does all of the classic Kung Lao moves as well. We also have Melina, Goro, Kabal, and Shang Tsung making appearances in this film as well. So actually, from a cast and characters point of view, whilst they don't have big A-listers playing the different characters, they have all of the classic characters from the video game in this film, and actually they do a pretty good job from a character's point of view. So from a visuals point of view, like I said a second ago, where they were saving all of the money from not having big A-listers associated with this project, they more than made up for it by reallocating that budget into the special effects department, and honestly, the special effects in this movie look truly extraordinary. It does feel like the video game aspects have been brilliantly materialized into this movie. All of the brilliant movesets and the choreography and all of the fight sequences, which by the way, there are quite a lot of fight sequences happening in this film, as you would expect and hope, which looks absolutely brilliant. But they also introduced another new element in this film, which I thought was really clever, which is that all of the characters have to work up to earn the ability to have their special movesets, which is where all the powers come into play. And when those scenes are happening, they look absolutely brilliant. Now that being said, there are certain characters that don't look as good as they could have done, for example Raiden and Melina. But that being said, you know, there are some other really brilliant characters like Jack, Sonya Blade, Kano, Liu Kang, and of course Sub-Zero, who just looks absolutely badass, an absolutely awesome character, and all of his ice movesets are just coming to life so brilliantly. So from a visuals point of view, they actually do look very spectacular in this film. So from a comparison point of view, like I said, there's actually quite a lot of other materials for Mortal Kombat in the world, so let's go through them one by one. So in terms of the two live action movies, I actually think this reboot is a lot stronger than both of them. I do like the original live action movies. I think they are actually really fun and really enjoyable watches, and I think this movie actually is a lot stronger than them, but also works alongside them really well. We obviously also have the Legacy TV series. I think it's a little bit unfair to compare it to that series, as that is also a very different interpretation and obviously spans a lot of episodes. But that being said, I think it's probably on the same level as that TV series. And obviously we also recently had Mortal Kombat Legends Scorpion Revenge, the animation movie, which also pits Scorpion against Sub-Zero. Very similar things happening to the Paul Scorpion character in both of the first act of both of those movies. But you know, that being said, as much as I really enjoyed the animation, and by the way, you can check out my review for that animation movie in the description box below, I also think that this reboot is stronger than that film as well. So from a comparison point of view, I actually really think the Mortal Kombat reboot is a very strong entry. So overall, I actually really enjoyed the Mortal Kombat reboot. 20 years we have been waiting for another Mortal Kombat live action film to take its place, and it's actually a really cool entry. While it's not a total flawless victory, I do think it's a nice new interpretation, and I hope that this is going to be a bit of a new franchise starter, as I literally cannot wait to see what's going to happen next. But as far as Mortal Kombat the reboot movie goes, I have to give it a solid 6.5 out of 10. I'd love to hear what you think, so please let me know in the comment section below. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing you in my next video.